after the fard fast of Ramadan, which amongst the voluntary fast are the most important in order of priority? There are various voluntary fasts besides fasting in the month of Ramadan, and we know very well there are Quranic verses and the various hadith which say that fasting the complete month of Ramadan, whether 29 days or 30 days, is fard for every adult Muslim, sane and who is healthy. It's fard for every adult Muslim, man or woman, if he's sane, if he's conscious, if he has the health, and if he's not traveling. Fasting the full month of Ramadan, whether 29 or 30 days, is fard. All the fasts besides the fast of Ramadan are voluntary. The question posed by Feroz Sheikh is, which is the most important fast in order of priority? As far as the most important fast is concerned, there's a hadith in Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2747, in which the Prophet said that if you fast on Yawm al-Arafah, that is the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, Allah will forgive the sins of your previous years and the next years. So based on this hadith, the scholar says this is the most important fast after the fast of Ramadan. So majority of the scholars say the most important fast after the fast of Ramadan is fasting on Yawm al-Arafah, that is 9th of Dhul Hijjah, based on the hadith of the Prophet of Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2747, that if you fast on the day of Arafah, on 9th Dhul Hijjah, Allah will forgive your sin of the previous years and the following year. There's one more hadith which is there in Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2755, which says the most important fast after the fast of the month of Ramadan is fasting on Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. And the hadith continues, the most important salah after the 5-time salah is praying salah at night, that is the Qiyamul Layl. Because of this hadith, some scholars say that the most important is the fasting on Ashura, but most of the scholars disagree, because the other hadith of Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2746 says that anyone who fasts on Yawm al-Arafah, that is the 10th of Muharram, Allah will forgive his sins of the previous year. So since the Sahih hadith of Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2746 says that if you fast on Muharram, the Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, Ashura, your previous year's sins are washed away, 1 year. But the next hadith of Sahih Muslim, volume number 3, hadith number 2747, says that if you fast on Yawm al-Arafah, the 9th Dhul Hijjah, 2 years' sin will be forgiven, the previous years and the following year. But natural, it's understood that the sins that these hadiths are talking about are the minor sins. It doesn't talk about the major sins. That the minor sins you do, if you fast on Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, your previous year's sins will be washed away. If you fast on Yawm al-Arafah, 2 years sin previous and next year. So most of the scholars agree that fasting on Yawm al-Arafah is the most important. Some scholars say that fasting on Ashura is the most important. But all of unanimously agree that the two most important fasts are fasting on Yawm al-Arafah and Yawm Ashura, the 9th of Dhul Hijjah and the 10th of Muharram. So the most important is Yawm al-Arafah, the next is Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. The third most important fast are the fast of the first 9 days of Dhul Hijjah. The hadith of the Prophet that says in Sahih Bukhari, that is volume number 2, hadith number 969, the Prophet said that the deeds done on the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are the most important deeds done in the full year. The good deeds done on the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are the most important deeds done as compared to any other days of the year. So when the Sahabas asked, what about jihad? He said, even jihad, the good deeds done in the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah is more important even than jihad done on any other day of the year, unless the person goes for jihad and comes back without his wealth and without his life. That means unless he is martyred and all his wealth is gone away, that is the only one deed which is better than the deeds done on the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And the hadith of Abu Dawud, that is volume number 3, hadith number 2437, that the Prophet fasted on the first 9 days of Dhul Hijjah. So after fasting on Arafah and on Ashura, the most important would be fasting the first 8 days of Dhul Hijjah. 9th we already covered, first 8 of Dhul Hijjah. And then would be fasting on the 9th and the 11th of Muharram. So the first two fasts are 9th of Dhul Hijjah and the 10th of Muharram. Next is the first 8 days of Dhul Hijjah, first 8 days of Dhul Hijjah, and then the 9th and the 11th of Muharram. The Prophet said, the Yahud fasted only on 10th of Muharram. I will fast, if I live the next year, for 2 days, 9th and 10th, or 10th or 11th. And the best is fasting all 3 days, 9th, 10th and 11th of Muharram. So the next best fasting in order of priority would be the 8 days of, first 8 days of Dhul Hijjah and the 9th and the 11th of Muharram. The next in priority would be the Ayyamul Bid. Because the Prophet had told, even the hadith of Abu Huraira, may Allah be with him, that my best friend told me not to leave 3 things every day. That is praying the Tahajjud Salah, praying Salatul Duha, and fasting on 3 days of the year on Ayyamul Bid. Fasting on the 13th, 14th and 15th of every month, Ayyamul Bid, it is the next best in fasting. Then would be the 6 days of Shawwal. That the Prophet said that anyone who, after the fast of Ramadan, fasting the full month of Ramadan, if he follows with the 6 days in the month of Shawwal, it's as though he has fasted the full year. Then would be fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. The Prophet said that I was born on Monday, and the Prophet also said that the deeds go up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Monday and Thursday. And when the deeds go, I would prefer it going when I'm fasting. So fasting on Monday and Thursday is also very important. And the other fast, which is the important voluntary fast, is the fasting of Dawud alayhi salam. He used to fast alternate day. And the hadith is that the best fasting amongst all the fasting, voluntary fast, is of Dawud alayhi salam, fasting alternate day. Now here you have to understand that when I'm telling the order, it is based on one single fast, which is the best, is Yawm al-Arafah. The next best fast is Ashura, 10th of Muharram. But if someone asks me, if I have to follow one type of fast, which is the best? Of course, fasting every alternate day is the best, because when you are fasting alternate days, besides Ramadan, there are 11 months. So if you remove 30 days out of 365 days, or remove 29 days out of 365 days, you get a total of 336 days. So fasting alternate days of 366 days, or sorry, 336 days would be 168 days. So fasting 168 days is very important. But one fast most important is Arafah. Second is Yawmul Arshad. Yawmul Ashura. Someone asked me, which is more important? Fasting Monday, Thursday is more important, or fasting the Ayyamul Bid? Now if you're fasting Monday and Thursday, in a month, there are about 4 weeks. So you are fasting 8 days in a month, because twice a week, Monday and Thursday. Vis-a-vis 3 days Ayyamul Bid. So fasting 8 days on Monday and Thursday would be preferable than fasting 3 days of Ayyamul Bid. But if someone asks me, if I am to fast only 3 days in the month, which is the most important? Fasting only 3 days is of course Ayyamul Bid on 13th, 14th and 15th. Anyway, fasting on those days is not compulsory. If you miss, the Prophet even said you can fast 1 day in the beginning of the month, 1 day in the middle of the month, 1 day in the end of the month, and your Ayyamul Bid is done. Or if you fast on Monday and Thursday, 2 Mondays and 1 Thursday, then also it's done on 3 days. But the best is Ayyamul Bid on 13th, 14th and 15th of every lunar month, when the moon is full moon, called as the white days. But 8 days, Monday and Thursday is better than 3 days of Ayyamul Bid. So you cannot give an order that way, but if you are counting one fast, the order which I said is correct. Only one fast, then Arafah, then would be Yawm al-Ashara. The next few fast is the first 8 days of Dhul Hijjah, then of the 9th and 11th of Muharram, then would be 3 days of Ayyamul Bid, then would be Shawwal, then would be Monday, Thursday, and then would be alternate day, because there are more number of fasts. To do only one fast of Arafah is easy. Then, so if you want to fast 1 day in a year besides Ramadan, then do Arafah. If you want to do Arafah and Ashura, 9th of Dhul Hijjah and 10th of, then you do more. So, but naturally, if you're doing Monday, Thursday full year, the quantity is much more. In 11 months, that is 48 weeks into 2, you are fasting 96 days in a year. If you are doing Monday and Thursday, 96 days in a year. If you are doing alternate fast of Dawud alayhi salam, you are fasting for 168 days in a year. Of course, that would be the best. Then would be 98. But if one fast, then the order I gave. So everything is subjective. But I hope I've given you a brief outline of the importance of each fast. Hope that answers the question.